I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter.
This is the Family Showdown! Howdy folks, welcome to Family Showdown Top 100 Games of All Time 2018 version.
17.
I always do that. 2017 version from yours truly, the person who doesn't know what year it is, and my troll assistant.
Why do I gotta be a troll?
Because you're like, I still haven't seen any good games on this list yet.
So
That may not be a direct quote, but it's paraphrased.
So telling the truth is being trollish.
Wow. We may experience some technical difficulties. You may have to hold on for a moment. That's more like it. Shields up. All right.
Let's hear it.
To the good stuff.
I'm ready to be impressed.
You will be impressed because these
ready.
games are super awesome, super fun to play. I love them. And I think you should try them because I love them so much. I think you'll like them too. Today we're going through
Sounds like
40...
a song.
It might be. I can make it one later if you wish. So, 40 to 31 this week. We have... Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another one that has a bunch of new ones to the list. For me to have new ones this high up is... That means they made a huge impression on me when we played. Because otherwise they would not make it this far. Because I've played enough games by now that something jumping up there is not happening as commonly as before. So, here we go. Without further ado, we start with number 40, which has a new one to the list. And I have a feeling with more plays, this may even go higher because this game cracks me up. It is The Networks. This game is you are a network. Think of a big TV network. And what you're going to be doing is trying to fit in programs, commercials, specific actors, things like this into specific time slots so that you can make the most money and get the most viewers. The viewers are basically your victory points. And they have great spoof names of different shows and actors, silly cartoons. The stuff you start out with is horrible stuff like, learn to play the recorder live at 7, kind of stuff. I mean, really corny. And then you end up with stuff that sounds like a spoof off of NCIS. It was like MCIP or some weirdness. They do goofy things with the letters and the names. And I just love the balance in the game. I like the theme. It's a really unique theme. I don't think I've ever seen anything working with TV slots before. Really cute game, and let's see, it's already got one expansion.
We got one. There's one mini expansion we didn't get, and then there's a big expansion just came out.
Yeah,
that was kickstarted.
This kickstarted. That's right. So extra stuff to come, more goodies. My number 40, The Networks, new to my list this year.
So this is my 47. So I'm right in the same ballpark. I really enjoy this. I enjoy games that have interesting stuff on the cards, right? Obviously, the cards are just really a mechanism, right? It tells you how much stats and how much money you get and things like that. But I like it when they go the extra mile and make the cards funny and interesting, and a lot of them are parody names off of real TV shows, and it's just fun to read the cards as you go. And there seems to be almost a trend in board games where they actually take the time to make the cards interesting, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just being a bunch of symbols and numbers to motivate to
entertain.
No. To make the game flow, it adds actually thematic stuff and interesting and funny things to the cards. And
yeah, it's kind of a fun little tweak. You're like, oh, I get that pop culture reference.
Right.
Just nice little fun touch.
And it's interesting to put a weird actor that's obviously a parody of a different actor
with
a really crazy show that they would never star in, right?
Yeah.
All right, good one. That's a good one. I approve so far.
Wow.
So far.
With that heavy sarcasm at the beginning, I wasn't so sure.
I approve so far.
Okay. I think you'll approve of my next one as well. It is my number 39 this year. Last year it was my 22. It dropped a little bit. I think that's just because of the sheer volume of games. It's still solid. I love this game. And it is our buddy Steffenfeld and Bruges. This is one of his lightest ones that we own, and it is this high up on my list because the cards are multi-purpose, and I like cards. I like to play with cards. I love what he does with the cards in this game. You can do, what was it, 7 different things with the cards. So your decisions, it's simple to learn this game, but the decision making in it is mind blowing. So you're trying to figure out, okay, do I want to use this for the money? Do I want to use it for this? Do I want to build something? Do I want to lay it down? Do I want to be able to use it? It's fantastic. So if you want to try a different Feld, or you have liked, some of the others like Castles of Burgundy and those, you might want to try Bruges out. It's pretty awesome.
This 39. Is one of the most well-liked, well-received Feld games. This one hits a lot of people's top lists. And we have an epic occurrence.
No way! It's your 39?
It is my 39.
What?
So it is a exact crossover.
This is number 39.
It is number 39.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that would happen. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's just a really solid, fun game. It's brightly colored. The artwork's cool. There's just so much thinking going on with it. I love it.
Yep, it's a good one. Good one. Man, you're knocking them out of the park this time.
My number 38 is new to the list this year, and I have a feeling it's going to remain this high on the list next year too, unless something really drastic changes. It is another Stefan Feld game. And that is Merlin. This beauty came out very, very recently and squeaked in a couple plays before I made my top 100 this year. And I must say, it made a really, really good impression. I love Stefan Feld games anyway, but this takes a theme that I'm meh about and did some really fun things with it. You're moving around, you're picking a knight factions, and you're going around King Arthur's court and gaining favor, getting flags, getting soldiers to fight against the enemies. What are some of the other things you do? There's a whole mess of different things you do. Meanwhile, there's also the wizard guy that you can also move, but he can move 2 directions. Meanwhile, you can only move clockwise around this, and you get to do certain actions. Once you pass them, you'd have to go all the way back around again before you can use them. So you got to plan out your actions, hope that the dice roll nicely for you. That's always a fun part for me. But this one has a lot of mitigation for that. There's so many different choices and different things that you can do. If you miss one, you probably have some other action nearby that you really, really want to be doing as well. I enjoy this quite a bit. It's another one of his really super bright colored ones. I love his games when they do that. The art's cool. The choices in this are really good. And it feels lighter than it probably is as far as tactics and strategy for this game. There's so many different things that you can do to get points. It's one of his point salads. But I really love it. I love Merlin.
So, 2 things. 1, you called Merlin the wizard guy.
Oh yeah, Merlin.
2.
It's late.
2. This game came out after I made my list. Mm-hmm. But looking at my list, it would be mid-20s for me.
Yeah, wow. Okay,
so
that's how much of an impression this made.
And did I say 2 things? I have a 3rd thing. This is another one. This is another one in the line along the lines of Oracle of Delphi that is panned by many, many hardcore Feld fans.
True. Which I don't get that.
I'm not sure why either. I mean, it's very much up his alley of doing almost a rondelle-ish type weird way of selecting your actions. And you have a bazillion different actions, a bazillion different ways to get points.
So much fun.
You have a side. You have in a lot of his games. You have the little side game. You have a little side game over here where you're building the area control. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's panned for the most part, but I like this one. This one would be in my top 3 or 4 or 5 Felds. So
I love it, and I like the combo of Feld and Reineck. I hope that those two make more games together because this has been really. I love it. I think it's a really good combo. They work well as a team, apparently.
Yep.
So please make more of those, you two. They're wonderful. So yeah, that's my number 38. It's new this year because it's pretty brand spanking new as a game in general. And then we have my number 37, which jumped up. Yes, it jumped up from being level 60. And I'm thinking it was our most recent play of it and just getting to play this again and remembering it. I don't know. This game, I figured out more about this game the more we play it. And the more we play it, the more I'm enjoying it, oddly enough. And that is Thief Tribes. I'm just kidding. That was for you, This Game is Broken fans. But this is 5 tribes. And I think this is such an interesting game. Bruno Cathala did this one, and it's a Moncala-like mechanism across the board using different colored meeples, and each different colored meeple has different actions associated with it. Where you land on the board also determines some of the things that you can do. It's also sort of area control-ish because you can put down palm trees and things to lay claim for extra victory points there. There's the djinns that give you special abilities. There's a lot of things going on with it, and yet it's relatively easy to teach. It's relatively easy to play. It's, I think, figuring out really good, solid strategies. It's one of those that just, the more you work with it, the more you see different things going on in the game. You're like, wow, there's a lot to this game, and I love it. And I think there's even an expansion or two that we don't even have.
I think there's 2 or 3 expansions.
Yeah, we don't even have, we love the base game. Absolutely love it. So that is 5 Tribes, my number 37.
So it's my 54. You've always liked this one.
Yeah.
More than I have. Yeah, it's just it's just a really solid game. It's really beautiful. It is beautiful. It's, like you said, it flows real smoothly. It's easy to teach. We were waffling on this one because we've heard horror stories of the AP-ness in the game, but we kind of made a pact that we
decided no analysis paralysis.
We limit our analysis of the board. We basically do a quick scan and go, okay, this looks good.
And you know what? That worked out really well. Okay, and we kind of cheated the last turn.
Last 2 to 3 turns. Their options are limited. You only have like 3 or 4 options.
So there's more staring down at that point.
Yeah.
But early in the game, there's so many different things. It really doesn't make that much difference. So we made a pact to do that, and it worked really well.
Yeah, I kind of go every game. I'm going to go for yellows this time. So I find a good combination for the yellows
and just fly with it.
Right?
Yep.
Good one. Great. Man, you are knocking it out of the park. I'm waiting for the bottom to drop out. When's that going to happen?
It's not. I'm telling you.
All right, we'll see.
Just a good game.
You're doing great.
All right, my number 36 was my number 20 last year. And I don't want to say it fell because of any issue with the game or that it's older. I think it's just I've found so many new solid loves at this point as far as board games are concerned. This one is not likely to move a whole lot on my list. And it's definitely not moving on yours for a long time. I know that much. And that is Le Havre.
Well, I don't know if I may consider that the bottom dropping out.
Okay. Le Havre, our buddy Uwe Rosenberg, another one of my favorite designers. This is one of those games where it's worker placement, and it's about a harbor, and you're going through and you're developing resources and selling goods and making goods and creating more buildings and all this in the grand plan of getting more victory points.
And feeding your people.
And at the end of each round, you do have to feed your people. So part of the engine that you're building up is you want to build up enough engine that you have to feed, that you're able to feed your people without struggling, so that you can go and build up these other things that give you the victory points. I love how smooth and well designed this game is. It ramps up. You start with so little and you build and you build, and you almost don't realize how quickly it builds until you realize at the end of the game, your last turn, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. But then it chains into like 20 different things, that you get to do, and you're creating so many different things. The bricks, and eventually you level that up and the bricks turn into clay, which gives you
other way around.
Or I totally did that backwards. Yes. You totally destroy your bricks, and you have clay, and you make bricks, which gives you better buildings that produce more of the things that you want. That's the right order. And so, same thing. You've got wood, you've got metal, and you end up eventually with steel, and you're building all these things. You can make make yourself a farmer, and you'll have cows, and eventually you slaughter them and you get steaks and leather, and you can go and sell your leather on the ship for a ridiculous amount of money, or you can go and have these steaks and feed your people with no effort at all. It's just so much fun. You can take a different route every time. There's so many different ways that you can build your engine and still make it work, and it's viable, and you're going to win with it. I love this. There's not just one way to win this game.
All right.
So tell us about one of your favorite games.
So this is my number 17. I love this game, and what's even more amazing about this game, we've only scratched the surface of this game because we've only ever played it 2-player, and in 2-player you don't use specialty buildings and things like that. We've only played like the base game of this, and it is still amazing. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I love how the engine, it starts off like you're barely pulling away, and then at the end you're flying. I mean, it's wonderful. It's all the cool things you can do. You can go with different ways to get points. You can build ships to feed your people, or you could just build up a good engine to create lots of food. At the end, you're trying to trade off the goods as quickly as you can to get all kinds of victory points. It's just a really, really, really rock solid game.
It is. There you go.
36. So I consider that a miss. So that's your first miss.
Yeah, it's only what you had it as 20 what?
17.
Oh, 17.
No.
Okay.
I may have said 17, but it's 16. My eyes are bad.
18 points off. I don't think
the
that's
difference between a 30. What is it? Your 30 what?
6.
36 and 16. That's like night and day. That is like it goes from really good to epic. There's a.
I consider these all pretty epic myself. Just saying.
All right. You're still doing good.
All right.
I'm sufficiently impressed so far.
My number 35 is new to it this year, and that's just because, for the most part, I typically tend to pick games that we own, and we got a few more plays of this game in, and so now I can say without a doubt that I love me some Coliseum. I think I had maybe one play of it when I made my list before, and so it wasn't enough, and we didn't own it yet, so I didn't put it on the list. Playing it again, I can say I love this game. Sometimes we hesitate to buy games because they say minimum 3 players, and we don't always get 3-player games to the table unless we're hosting game days and stuff like that, so sometimes that can be really hard for us. But this game was one of those we had to buy once we played it. We've played it at 2 different cons, or maybe 3 now, and it's a race game. You're trying to beat the other players to put on the best show in your Coliseum. And you can pay money to make your Coliseum bigger and fit more crowds in. And meanwhile, you've got the Emperor and some senators just walking around looking for a wonderful Coliseum show they want to go watch. You want them to be in yours because you get extra bonus points when they're sitting in your Coliseum watching your show. You have this great bidding, trading system going on each turn where you're trying to get the different elements for your show. They've got anything from plants to horses to the, what were some
lions,
boats, and
different performers
of different types. It's just really fun. And there's normally I'm kind of like on the dice, but the dice crack me up in this game because you're rolling to see how far your senators and emperors are going to move. And so sometimes hilarity ensues because you're like, oh, he just jumped over your Coliseum. Sorry, so sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
And you can purposely move some out of somebody else's Coliseum, and it's just fun. I really like that tiny bit of chaotic element to it, and it is amazingly deep for a fun game like this, because it almost has a silly edge to it because you're trading for all these things to put on this play, but you really do have to put a strategy together with the end game in mind from the start, because the scoring is unique in this. You don't score continuously. You pick the best show that gave you the most victory points, and that highest points, it may not be your last show. It might be your second show, and that's your score for the game. So if you don't score any higher after that, that's your score. And that's kind of interesting. So you want to try to save up and be able to purchase the big show that's worth all the victory points before somebody else steals that show out from under you. Or hopefully you pick one that's more points than the one they pull off and things like that.
Yep.
So really, really enjoy Coliseum. I'm so glad they reprinted this game, and they did a really good job doing that. So there you go.
So This is my number 30.
Wow, very close.
So we're in the same ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
This is like she said, this is like our go-to con game.
It is.
Like almost
It is.
every con we play this game. So much so, in fact, I don't even know if we've played our copy.
We have not yet.
So yeah, I don't know if we played.
We have not.
We played this. I've played it at 4 different cons. I think you've played it at three different cons. It's just a great con game because It's a great game to play at a con because it has lots of interaction. There's there's an auction. There's trading. It's just really interactive. You really not only have to have the interaction of that, but you also have to watch. Like I said, you have to watch what the other players are doing because if you guys are building up to the same big show, someone's gonna have some heartbreak at the end, right? Because you have to purchase the show you're gonna make, and if you've got all the stuff for that show, and then someone else purchases it out from under you, you're scrambling to try to reorganize your stuff to do a different show.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
So this is a great one. Apparently, we only play it at cons.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's gonna have to come out during a game day someday, kind of thing, because it is really, really fun. All right, so that was my 35. New to the list. What do you?
I completely forgot that.
Oh, you got the one with the coins.
Yeah.
Why haven't we played our copy?
I don't know. It's punched. It's never been played.
That's amazing. We even have the fun toys. Metal coins, people. Okay, so distractions aside.
I heard it jingle.
Number 34 is also new because it's a new game for us. And I must say, I am loving it. I can't wait to play it again soon. And that is Exodus Proxima Centauri. This is yet another one of those. You know, I'm a sucker for a good space game, and this is a good space game. I really love the different types of ships. I love the interaction with the other players. I love the tech tree with this. It's another one of those. Would you consider this? Let's see. Does it have all 4 X's?
It's a 4X game, except we have. For us, we don't.
With 2-player.
With 2-player, we take out all the diplomacy and trading.
That's right.
Part.
That's what it is. I knew there was one that was kind of cut off. Yeah, with 2-player, you can't really do trading.
Or diplomacy.
Or
alliances.
Because what's the point of making an alliance? Obviously, we're not going to make alliances with a 2-player. Just saying. We're not friends. We're not friends. Someone's going to have to lose.
We're not friends.
We're not friends. We don't play co-ops, right? So, but yeah, this one, oh, goodness. It's got the epic feel, but it doesn't take the epic time. It goes very quickly. In fact, it says 30 to 45 minutes a player. I want to say we take about an hour, hour and a half for this. So that's probably right about in the sweet spot there. So 90 minutes to play an epic game. Or at least, like I said, it feels like the scale is epic. I really enjoy the interactions in this game. And yes, I know there's quite a few games out there that do similar things. Nowadays, there have been quite a few good space games coming out. But I would put this among them. I would say this is one of those that you should try. Plays pretty smoothly. You looking to see where it is on your list?
Yeah, I almost think that we hadn't played it when I made my list.
That is entirely possible.
Because
this is new. This is new.
I'm not seeing it anywhere.
I don't think it was. This is a really new play. In fact, I'm not 100% certain that we've played this. If we've played it twice, that's the most we've played it. I mean, it's really, really new. And that's the impression it made on me, too.
I'm not seeing it on my list.
Because
so I don't think
we have not played it a lot.
I don't think we'd had played it when I made this list.
Probably not. I think this was an end-of-the-year purchase. Really solid game. Because, I mean, it made that impression right away. And I'm just repeating myself now. I mean, just how much I love every different aspect about this game and how it all fits together.
Yeah,
it plays pretty smoothly.
I'm making the call that we hadn't played it, because I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
It would have been in my top 100.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah. Where would you think you'd probably rank this one, just out of curiosity? I think I like it way more than you did, but...
Oh, yeah.
But...
I like Eclipse better than this game.
Oh, okay.
So, I would say probably in the 40s somewhere, probably.
Okay, yeah. So, again, still in the same ballpark. Pretty solid game.
I'm surprised. Did we really play it that? I guess we played it. Maybe played it around October or November time frame.
Yeah, it was. It was late. So yeah, solid game. I think you would enjoy it if you like the other space games and you want that epic feel, but you don't have the time to throw down. That's a really good one for that.
Very confused. I thought it was on my list.
There you go.
Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Keep going.
All right.
I'm going to do one more last.
My number 33 was my number 34 last year, and I find that interesting. I think, obviously, we have a little bit of wiggle room there. And you'll see why it's probably going to stay there or slowly start to decline over time. And that is Pandemic Legacy Season 1. It was so much fun to play. We took a while. We hesitated a while to buy the Legacy game because the concept was, we're not going to get to play it again after that. We're done. The experience won't be new. We kind of know what to do, so we can't really play it with anybody else because it would almost be like cheating. So, but the experience was great. In fact, we happened to get our first play in on a weekend where there really wasn't anything going on. So we ended up binge playing this. And over the course of 3 or 4 days?
No, 3 days.
3 days.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's right, it was. We basically, in one weekend, we went through the entire year of Pandemic. It was fantastic. Love the way this game played. We have purchased, but we have not played Season 2 yet. So I would guess that depending on how that plays, that would probably replace that on the list if it plays as well as this one did. Because obviously we can't play this again, so this is going to slowly start to drop off my list, but the memories of it are so strong right now because it was a really good set of plays. We played 18 games, so obviously we didn't win every month, but it sounds like we were pretty smack dab in the middle of the average plays for this, and it was fun to see that, how your successes and failures determined your government funding from month to month and how that impacted the game and what you had to do as repercussions for your actions and this and that. Really, really interesting. If you've not played a Legacy game, I would think this would be the best one for you to hit because of the way it plays. It's definitely worth the money. And that's Pandemic Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy games I think are going to be a hard thing for these top 100 lists because in all honesty, this probably should be top 5, right?
Oh, yeah, but we're never going to get to play it again.
Yeah.
And that's definitely part of it.
It's going to creep down the list, right?
It is. It's going to slowly creep away.
Fade in memory. So it's still hanging on strong for me. It's my number 17, but
wow.
Next year it'll probably be lower and lower and lower and lower and lower until it drops off. Just because I think Season 2, even if I would think it. Again, it's weird. What's weird about Legacy games? I think if Season 2 even isn't as good as experience as this, it may jump over this game, right?
I can see that.
Just because the newness of it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's almost
a false ranking for Legacy games. Right?
Yeah,
they almost need to do their own ranking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Maybe if this Legacy trend continues and you do 2 or 3 Legacy games a year, at some point you make the call and say, okay, here's my top 100 without Legacy games, without escape room games, without any games that are one-shots. Right?
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know.
That's an interesting thought. That may be a discussion topic sometime.
Another good one.
I
know. Great. I'm amazed.
I know.
I was waiting for this to happen. It finally happened. So don't give me any heartbreak. That last one's better be good.
They are. I love them. All right. My number 32 was my 26th last year, and it's recently gotten a couple little expansions to it, so I could see this either staying the same or maybe even going up a little bit, and that is Deception Murder in Hong Kong. This is I'm pretty sure, I may triple check, but I'm pretty sure this is my favorite. Yeah, my favorite social deduction game. By quite a bit, actually. Oh, my goodness. So, you get a group of people together. You can have up to 12 players. And you've got a forensic scientist who is kind of the it person that's going to move the game along. Has all the information. And you've got 2 rows of cards in front of you. 1 row is going to be your murder weapons. And then you've got 1 row of things that were just items left at the scene. And somebody's going to be a murderer. There's an accomplice. There's a witness. And if you do the expansions, there's other stuff going on that the murderer is going to pick something in front of them that was an item left at the scene and the murder weapon. And then and if there's an accomplice, they can kind of work in cahoots and try to deflect people's discussions away from their items. And meanwhile, everyone else, our forensic scientists detectives trying to figure out and solve the crime. The forensic scientist is silently, they can't talk or communicate, but they can give clues on these cards to kind of help narrow it down and guide the conversation a little bit. People have to accuse exactly correctly on what the murder weapon and the item left on the scene is. Murderers get a chance to try to kill the witness. There's just all this stuff going on, and meanwhile, the conversations just are fantastic for this game. It's so much fun to see, and it's really fun. I enjoy playing this with my students for my smaller classes, and the discussions that do this. That's probably my favorite thing to do as the forensic scientist, and just watch the people who are guilty trying to deflect everything that's going on, and people talking about, well, could you consider that poison, or is that, it's hilarious. I love this game.
So you're teaching your students bad habits?
No, it's my
Latin. How to
Latin.
lie and how to...
It's a Latin classroom, and we translate stories about murder and death and deception all the time, so why not branch out and play a board game? Just saying. But yeah, no, it's really fun, and we've had a blast playing this with a lot of different people, and every play has been a lot of fun. I've played it with students, I've played it with gamers, I've played it with family. That's awesome.
So,
win all around.
Couple things. It's not my favorite social deduction game.
I know it's not your favorite.
It's one of my favorites. It's my number 35, so it's in the same ballpark.
Nice.
We've yet to play the brand new expansion,
Yes.
so I'm excited to play that.
I am too.
It may come out at the next game day.
Ooh.
Just because we have, where is it? We have metal badges.
Yes, that's true. and now we have little microscopes for markers. I mean, just cheesy. It's so I love
totally unnecessary.
Totally
stuff.
unnecessary and hilarious stuff. I love it. I love the additions. But yeah, it's just this one. I don't know. Social deduction games I get tired of typically. I'm not super good at them, but that doesn't bother me.
But this one isn't direct confrontation though.
This one isn't.
You have issues when people are like, "Are you the bad guy?"
Yeah, I get tired of that after a while.
This one is not really that. I mean, you indirectly are saying when you're looking and saying, "Okay, their items in front of them are probably potentially the murder."
Yeah.
But you're not looking at them and saying you're the murderer. You're kind of talking about the stuff in front of them. You're not really talking about the person
and the clues,
right?
and trying to make them fit. Yeah.
So I think you like indirect social deduction better than direct. Social
That's possible.
deduction.
That might be part of it too. This one just engenders such great conversations and hilarious things. I don't know. We've always had so many weird comments.
Yeah. This game, every time at BG Con last November, you didn't get to go. We pulled this out and we played it. I taught it and we played once, and then immediately we played it again and again and again. This is one of those.
It's a play it again.
It's a potato chip game. You can't just play one time.
You don't want to play it just one time.
Good one. All right, you got one left. Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't break my heart.
All right. You're knocking them out of the park. I'm impressed.
Here's
this is the first 10 I'm completely satisfied with. Don't mess it up.
He's so easy to please. All right, so my 31 is new to the list this year, and I think it's here to stay. Every time I've played this, I love it, and I am looking forward to it as we speak, and that is Time's Up Title Recall. Oh my goodness. I don't know. This is the kind of game I played, like Taboo and silly Balderdash and things like that when I was in high school with we had a pretty dynamic group of friends that played games like this, and finding this game now where it's got all these different references that I don't know, our age group seems to know all of the answers to and everything, and just the cheesy, again, I'm obviously not a shy person, so you're acting out this stuff, or you're singing or humming or doing this, trying to give your team clues, and you're competing against another team for this stuff, and it's on a timer, and I love it. I absolutely love this, and every time we've played this, it has been hilarious, because you start the round, and you get to say anything the first time through, and then the second time, you get a one-word clue to give them. And by then, sometimes somebody's done something spastic, so you remember, okay, you have been really goofy. we're going to remember that weird thing you did, and that's how we're going to remember this movie title or whatever.
Right.
So you have this one word clue. Well, inevitably, wires get crossed between the teams and stuff, so there's all these side gags running and all these goofy jokes. Well, in the final round, you can't talk. I think you can hum.
It depends on your
House
interpretation
rules,
of
yeah.
the rules, but
Yeah.
normally it's just motions.
Just
You can
motions, and you're acting it out. You're doing kind of the charades thing without any sound or with humming. And it's all the same. You're giving clues to the same things through each round, but you have to change up how you're presenting it. It's just, and you either have that team where you have this great connection, or sometimes you have some that just aren't getting it, and each time you're just like, how do I get this person? And you have to do it so fast. Super fun game. Super fun game. This is not for the super introverted.
No.
I would not recommend that. You probably would not enjoy this. But if you have an outgoing group, you're outgoing, you enjoy that sort of thing, you should play this game. It's really, really fun. If nothing else, sit back and watch somebody play this game because it's pretty hilarious.
So, I don't like this game as much as you because I'm a very shy person.
Really?
But I do not like it as much as you. I mean, it's
I know.
my 51. I do love it, love it, love it. But yeah, it's more the experience than the game itself, right?
Well, yeah, but I told you guys I hold memories with that very highly with the game. So every single time I've played this, it's been a blast.
It is
Every
great.
single time.
I've enjoyed every play of that. So well, that's a good one. I mean, I if it's in my top 100, it's great, especially if it's a goofy game. It's got to at least sell me to be in my top 100, and it does. It's fun.
Yeah.
I just wish I was more outgoing, and I get really nervous around games like this.
Do you? Why is that?
I'm very self-conscious.
Are you? I'll refrain from comment. Yes.
All right. Here you go. High five. You did great. First 10 I approve of. It gets a seal of greatness.
And what does that say for the next set, people? Because we're doing 30 through 21. What?
We're getting up there.
We're getting to, obviously, even Hunter approved. That tells you how good this is. It's double good. That's a term.
I didn't get to troll you as much this time.
That's right. He's not my troll. He's now my compadre. We're like, go team awesome on the rest. So stay tuned until next week when we do, what did I say? 30 through 21. This is ridiculous. These are games that are insanely good. Because these were really mega awesome good. Next one's insanely good. Can you imagine what's left? You don't have to wait much longer. See you soon.